Okay, welcome to paper 3, November 2018. There are marks, the grade boundaries. So these are rough guides. These aren't in definitive, but these are rough ones. So this first one, we're going to look up to 17 marks. That will give you a grade 4. So let's look at this first one. It says write 7,357 correct to 3 sig figs. So 3 sig figs, first, second, third, fourth. So it's going to be that, or sorry, it's going to be that, or it's going to be that. So which is this number closer to? There you are. So that's your first, second, third. Work this out to show everything on your calculator. Better calculator today. So that means I'm going to use this button here. That gives me a fraction button. Oh look, shift button there. So if I want to do it, let's just change the mode correctly, and there we go. So I'm going to do square root. I'm going to have an open bracket just to make sure it all fits in. 17 plus 4 squared. Close that open bracket, press the arrow key down, flashes there. 7.3 all squared. Getting used to your calculator is really important. So there we go. Oops, flashing there. Press the equals button. Sometimes it uses that button there as a strange symbol. It happens. You press that and that changes it to a decimal form like we've got here. And then write down all your figures on your thing. So here we go. There you go. Last year, Jo paid £245 for her car insurance. This year, she's paid £883 for her car insurance. Crikey. Work out the percentage increase. So, okay, percentage increase. You've got to know this. It's difference divided by the original times 100. It's one of these things you just got to remember. So the difference is 883 minus 245 all over the original, which is 245 times 100. So that's what I need to put on my calculator. So again, I can use a fraction button. So why not? It's there. 883 minus the 2. So that's your difference divided by original times 100. So it changes from a fraction to a decimal. And you see, there we go, that button there. So we need to press this one here, and that changes it to 260.4. And they're not asking for the degree of accuracy. If we look here, and does it say anything about degrees of accuracy? So I can't see here anything. So unless otherwise indicated degrees of accuracy there. So I'm just going to literally, I'm free now to say, right, okay, that's 260.4%. I could go to 260. It's not asking it, so I'm just going to be absolutely safe and go to that point there. Right, that's questions 1 and 2. Complete this table. Right, so a lot of this is using a calculator, isn't it? They've done the first, well, I've done 3 of these, and that's really useful because what it means is if you don't know what to do, you can practice, and if you come out with the right value, you know you're doing it okay. So what you do with these ones, the big trick in this one is to remember to use brackets on your calculator. So that's the big trick to remember. Oh, that's a minus. Don't forget that bit. So what I'm going to do, and I'll show you a quick way of doing this, is a really nice way. So if I put in a bracket, and then it's -3, so that's that button there, -3, close bracket, squared. And then I'm going to add open bracket, -3, close bracket, -4. So you see how that all works? Press the equals button, that gets 2. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a -2 in by pressing this arrow back and changing that to a 2 and changing this to a 2. And why am I doing this one when you already know the values? Well, because you already know the values and I want to make sure I'm doing it okay. So that becomes -2, which is what you want. So you feel really happy now. So what I can do now is I can put 0 in if I wanted to. If I'm getting really stressed and I can't think properly, then why not? You know, you've got time, guys. So there we go, put 0 in, press equals, and it's -4. Notice a quadratic, you're suddenly getting a repeated pattern. So I reckon this should be 2. Okay, so let's put the values in. That's 2. So 2 becomes 2. Put it all in. Delete 2 equals button. Yay! 2. And then put 3 in. So all I'm doing is doing this, and it's quite rhythmic, isn't it? It's quite nice, really. Value of 8. And there you go. So that's 2 marks already. And it says on this grid, plot it from -3 to 3, these values. So across, that's across, so across to -3 up to 2. Gosh, it's 2 is hard to read, isn't it? So be really careful here. These go up, this is 5. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to go up to 2. So that's 1, 2 there. -2 goes to -2. So it's there. -1 goes to -4. 0 goes to -4. Now you can see it's going back up on itself now. So you can sort of see the rhythm of this. If that's 9, there must be 8 there. And so you've got here, you've got a quadratic. Now to draw the quadratic, I've shown you this before. Pivot around the point, okay, and it should be really with a pencil, ideally. You should do it with a pencil, because if you make a mistake, oh, it's a daisy, it's a green one. Now obviously you'll have 2 hands to draw this neatly, unlike my efforts. Turn it around, pivot, pivot, pivot. Now, I don't know how beautiful they want it, but that's not bad, especially one-handed. Then it says, okay, this is a nice one. Use the graph to find an estimate for the solution, this bit here. So this is where the graph we've just drawn, notice it's exactly the same graph, but they're saying it equals, its output is 0. That means the output is there and there. And its output is 0, so it's used to go find the solution. It's just a root. So if I look at that, that looks like it's -2.5, and that looks like it is kind of 1.5. So there we go. In fact, there is a way of using it actually on the calculator as well, a really good button. Not on these ones, but if another calculator, you can actually solve this. Really good. Okay. Question 4. Right, Fran asks each of 40 students how many books they brought last year. The chart below shows the information about the number of books brought by the 40 students. Highlight 40 students. Work out the percentage of these students who brought 20 or more. So 20 or more, that must be 20 or more here. That's 2 out of the 40 times 100. And again, you can use your calculator. 2 divided by the 40 times 100. Yeah, there's no point getting too panicky. 5%. Nice. So then we get to question B, and that will give us a grade 4. Show that an estimate for the mean number of books brought is 9.5. Okay, let's look at that question. So we've got an estimate of the mean. Now to do this, I don't know how many books it exactly is. It's between 0 and 4. Halfway is 2, and there were 11 of those. So that's my midpoint, and my frequency was 11. Then here, my midpoint is going to be 6 with a frequency of 8, midpoint of 12 with a frequency of 13, midpoint of 17 with a frequency of 6, midpoint of 22 with the frequency of 2. So I need to find how many books, the total number of books. Well, these 11 took 2 books, so that's 22 books. These 8 took 6 books, 6 8 to 48. Obviously, you could use a calculator if you're starting to think, oh, I can't remember, can't do this. It's worth doing 156, and then 17 times 6 is 102 and 44. If I add all that together, that's the total number of books. So add 44 plus 156 plus 48 plus 22 equals 7372, and this is the total number, which should be 40. I can always check to see if that's right. 19, 32, 40, good. So now do that, divided by 40 equals 9.3. Now, 9.3. Did I make a mistake? That's really interesting. I sensed I made a mistake. So now what I need to do is go back quickly and check. Okay, so that is 2, that is 6, that is 12, that is not 13, that's 17. Oh no, that's 17, that's what I've got. And that's 22. Frequency 11, 8, 13, 6, and 2. 22, 6 eighths, okay. I'm panicky a bit maybe, so 6 times 8 equals 48. I'm right on that one. So now let's add all these together slowly. 22 plus 48 plus 156 plus 102 plus 44 equals, I've got that. So let's look through this. I divide by 40. I get 9.3. I don't get 9.5. So let's just think one more time. What's happening here? That's the 2. Oh, look here. Midpoint. It's not 6, it's 7. How irritating is that? So that's your 56. So add another 8 to that. So that's 380. Then you do the 380 divided by the 40, and you get your 9.5. It's really handy, you know, you can make silly mistakes here, can't you? So that's really good. They check it, you do check, go over it, okay? Because what a silly, simple mistake that is. Cool.